Hey guys, ito na naman si JP ng Programmers Developers at pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay about sa machine learning. Now, kung kailangan mo gumawa ng machine learning model in a short amount of time or hindi ka talaga marunong gumawa ng machine learning model but for some reason kailangan mong gumawa, like for example, kailangan gumawa ng prototype for a business, right? I-explore natin yung isang possibility na pwede nyo gamitin para makagawa ng machine learning models. Okay. So, for example, given a data, right? Tingnan natin. May data tayo dito. Yung problem natin is, okay, so we have data set here. Ito ay, it's a data set of reviews. So, meron kang review dito na ano, hey, wow, I love this place. Cool. Tapos, 1 stands for positive review. 0 stands for negative review. Okay? So, crust is not good. Okay, that's a negative review. So, hence that. So, this is a tab-separated data set. So, yun. So, we have the text here and the review here. Now, kailangan natin ibigay ito sa machine learning, and in usual cases, right, what we would do is we would need to do some pre-processing here, right? Ipi-process natin tong text na to, and then we'll feed it into a machine learning algorithm. Tapos, i-figure out niya if it's a positive or negative review. Now, given the case wherein kailangan mo siyang build really quick or hindi ka talaga marunong machine learning and you need to actually use it. For example, isa kang web developer or isa kang mobile developer. So, you can use the ML.NET CLI. Okay, so ano ba tong ML.NET CLI na to? So, yung ML.NET ay yung machine learning library ng .NET framework from Microsoft, which which allows you to use machine learning for all the .NET languages. Basically, C#, F#, VB, and maybe yung upcoming BOSC programming language if it's going to be on .NET. So everything, all the languages that use .NET, right, you can use ML.NET. Now, ML.NET is a library usable inside the language, but meron tayong CLI na pwede natin gamitin. So, ano ba yung point ng CLI na to? It allows you to use ML.NET and create a project for that. Okay. So, tingnan natin. But first, we need to install it, right? First, you need to have .NET Core. .NET Core muna. In this case, naka-install na sa akin yan. So, next that I need to do is install .NET. So, tingnan natin. Which .NET? Right, so installed na nga siya. And since may .NET na ako, I can start running this command, .NET tool install global-g MLNet. So, pag matapos yung installation niya, magkakaroon ako ng MLNet na binary command that I can run. But, I already have that installed. Yan, MLNet. So, tingnan natin kung anong man nagagawa ni MLNet. Right? So, we'll open MLNet. Tapos yun. Okay. Hindi tayo nag-specify ng command para lumabas yung help. Now, this is still in beta, I think, or alpha. So, limited pa yung functionalities niya. Now, one of the commands that we can use is, actually, the only command that we can use is auto-train. Now, this will do what we call AutoML, or automated machine learning, to generate a model. So, what does that mean? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng automated ML, AutoML? AutoML is, I give you data. And I tell you, this is what I want to figure out. Ito yung gusto kong result. And you will figure out, you have the software figure out how to create that model for you. Okay? So you don't have to think about, okay, what kind of pre-processing do I have to do? What kind of algorithm do I have to use para makagawa ng isang machine learning model? You don't have to think about that anymore with AutoML. So this is what ML.NET CLI allows us to do, maggawa ng AutoML models using this auto-train command. So, tingnan natin. Right? So, MLNET AutoTrain. Now, irarun natin ulit to without specifying the parameters or arguments kasi gusto natin ulit makita yung help. Right. So, a lot of things going on in here. So, meron tayong task. The important ones that we have to use are task, which specifies kung anong task yung ginagawa mo. Kung regression, if you have to figure out a certain a value, an exact value. Binary classification, if you're trying to figure out which is which between two values. In this case, ito yung gagamitin natin kasi 0 or 1 lang yung values. So, binary classification, dalawa lang yung pinagpipilian natin. And multi-class classification, wherein pipili tayo from multiple classes. For example, if you want to do object classification, right? That's an example. Or semantic analysis, wherein 1 is positive, 0 is neutral, and negative 1 is negative, right? So that's one example of multi-class. In this case, we'll just be using binary classification. Kasi dalawa ang pinapipilian natin, either positive or negative. Next is dataset. Okay, so dataset naman, well, obviously, kung nasan yung dataset natin, merong mga various extensions dito, like if you want to do the tree validation test na splits, or if you just want to do test splits, in this case, ano lang tayo, we'll just use dataset. And then, label column index and label column name. So, in this case, what these do is actually specify kung ano yung target na column mo. In this case, yung target natin is yung mga yung if it's 1 or 0, if it's positive or negative, right? So, in this case, gagamitin natin is column index kasi wala tayong headers. Since wala rin tayong headers, kailangan natin specify na header is false. Okay? Okay. Next is max exploration time. Max exploration time specifies the number of seconds, ito nga, maximum seconds for exploring the models with best configuration. So, now what the AutoML does, what ML.NET CLI auto training does is pipili siya ng best na pre-processing steps and best na algorithms to create your model, but then it will take some time. So, in this case, it will tell you can tell it via the max exploration time na option na how many seconds do you want the training to run to find the best configuration for your problem. Okay. And then you can also ignore columns. Ano yung ayaw mo. In this case, wala tayong ignore na columns kasi dalawa lang yung columns, right? It's text data. If you have data na like it's numbers, different columns na maraming numbers, for example, tapos you think na yung isa sa kanila is parang pointless, you can just ignore that column. Right, so let's try this out, right? MLNET AutoTrain. So first, specify natin is task. Task is binary classification. Next is dataset. Dataset, specify natin, which is dataset.text. Right. Next is label column index. Index is 1. Okay, so 0 based siya. So 1 is the second column. And the next is has header, we specify false. Last is max exploration time. We specify, let's say, 60 seconds. That should be enough. Okay, so then we'll run this. Ayun, so running na siya. There we go. Exploring multiple ML algorithms and settings to find you the best model for ML task. So, yun. Makikita natin yung accuracy dito. So, current na best accuracy is 82.4%, 40%. And ito yung current na algorithm na ginagamit niya. So, we're going to run this for 60 seconds. Ayan. Okay, so again, the MLNet plugin for .NET, right? The ML.NET CLI is still in beta or alpha. So there are still things to be adjusted here. For example, one of the options to pala dito is to just select which algorithms lang yung pagpipilian or which pre-processing steps lang yung pagpipilian. In this case, di nga tayo makapag-specify ng range of algorithms or range of pre-processing steps. Di nga natin dito nakikita yung pre-processing step na ginagamit, yung algorithm lang. If you want to do AutoML, right, tapos gusto mong makita yung mga pre-processing steps na ginagamit, or you want to specify ano yung pre-processing steps na pwedeng gamitin for your run, for your training, and the range of algorithms na gagamitin, you can check out Azure Machine Learning Service, AutoML. It's in, so kung may Azure, gawa kayong Azure account, tapos punta kayo sa Azure portal, and then gawa kayong bagong machine learning service. Meron namang free na machines that you can use, and you have leeway if bago pa lang yung account nyo. So definitely check that out. Sa AutoML ni machine learning service ng Azure, you can actually specify which algorithms yung gusto mo lang i-run na pagpipilian. Tapos anong pre-processing steps. So you can mix and match, right? You can mix and match which algorithms you think would be the best. Tapos si AutoML pa rin maghahanap ng best combos, ng best combinations ng ng pre-processing an algorithm to figure out the best way to train your model, okay, to get the highest accuracy. Okay, so tapos na yung training natin. I've been going on for a long time, but yung best algorithm na nahanap niya is SDCA logistic regression binary. So it's a binary logistic regression, but I don't know what SDCA is. So marami siyang algorithms talaga na tinatry. So most likely some of those algorithms hindi mo familiar, especially if you really don't know machine learning. So accuracy is 82% and F1 score is 81%. Considering this is text, this is pretty okay. But if you can run this for, I think maybe you can specify, like, for example, 600 seconds to like run it for like 10 minutes, like to actually improve the accuracy even more, right? So that's one thing that you can do to improve the accuracy. Maybe baka pumalo to ng mga 90%, maybe. Who knows? Just try it out. Okay. Now that meron na tayong model, so, okay, one more thing. The ML.NET CLI doesn't just train a model, okay? It also creates a project, okay, that you can use. So it creates a library that you can use and a sample project that you can use. So titingnan natin. So nandito tayo sa folder where we run that command. Tapos titingnan natin dito, meron tayong sample binary classification. Now that is a .NET project, a .NET solution project. So we can open that in VS Code, or if you have Visual Studio, better. Now, meron tayong, oops, it's too big. Meron tayong dalawang things. Meron tayong console app, and meron tayong model. Now, oops, nag-open yung ano ko. Now, model is a library that you can just pull in, right? And console app is the sample app that makes use of that library. So how do we see this? Okay, we can just open program inside yung console app and see the code in here. I'll pull this back. Okay, so makikita natin dito, ini-import niya yung model and yung data natin. Okay. And then, ini-import niya yung ano natin, yung library natin na generate ni ML.NET CLI, right? And after that, gumagawa siya ng prediction engine. Now, yung prediction engine na to will accept data and return a result. Okay? So, in this case, gumagawa siya ng sample data. given the data here, so it probably gets uh, one of those examples and plugs it in dito sample data natin. Tapos the prediction engine tries to predict that value. Okay, and tingnan natin. So dapat yung value is yung actual value doon, and titingnan natin if yung predicted value is yung actual na ano. So kinukuha niya yun from the data and the prediction. Titingnan natin kung nagtutugma ba yung actual data and yung prediction. Okay. So let's try to run this. In my case, I'll go there inside sample list. So I'll go inside sample classification console app. So I'll just run the app. So I'll use .NET Run. I'm not a very Visual Studio guy. So, I just run it. Ayun. So, kumuha siya ng isang data point, at ang yung value is true. And then, nung pinasa yung data dun sa prediction engine natin, the value is true. So, it actually matches. So, the 80% ish accuracy actually works well for this matter. Right. So if you want to now actually use this in your applications, you can just change this. You can copy this. You can copy this code, right? Except na hindi na siya console app. Tapos maybe if you want to load it in a web project, right? So you can copy the format, what this sample code. Tapos papalitan nyo lang to, right? Sorry, not that. Papalitan nyo lang to na call. So instead of calling create single data sample, mangyayari is kukunin yung data nyo tapos gagawa kayo ng isang model input. Pero yun lang yung papalitan nyo. You just plug it in here, your actual data, tapos isubmit nyo dito sa prediction engine to predict it, right? So what you will actually need is this thing. You need to copy itong model na to, which allows you to use the model. Ito na yung serialized model natin, and you can use that by importing this model. Tapos you can just copy the example code dito sa console app natin and send it to another project, like a web project maybe. Like if gagawa kayo ng API na magko-conduct ng analysis ng reviews, right? That's an example. So this code is in C#, but again, you're not limited to just using C#. You can use whatever whatever .NET language you want to use, like for example F#. You can use that to use the model that you generated. Now, so that didn't even take us 10 minutes. If you want to go to the actual process without me explaining it, it's much faster, probably 5 minutes, and it will just take, depending on your on the max exploration time that you set. But it's really quick. You just specify the data. It also depends on how large your data is. In this case, it's not too big. So you specify your data, specify the length of time you want to train, right? And then it generates a project for you. How cool is that? That is super cool. One last thing, hindi natin nakikita yung graph on how the model improved over time with the different algorithms, but you can see that if you're going to use the Azure Machine Learning Service AutoML, once you have an Azure account, tapos makita nyo yun sa experiments nyo in the Azure portal. Right, so that's it for today. I hope you learned how to create a machine learning model without knowing machine learning, quick and easy, and actually having a project that you can copy from to implement that model in your application. So that's it. I hope you learned a lot. See you again next time.